far. Alright. Perfect. Let's resimulate that forest. Boop. Might be a bit dense. Guess it's okay for now. Alright, those are still good. That you would kind of I wonder if they should be rotated a bit so that side faces. I would kind of mess up this whole alignment here. This is the way I had it originally. I guess that's cool. You come over here, you got the exotic place. So Oni ogres first, or batlings first. Batlings are cool. Let's put the batlings first. The Oni ogres. So these are both kind of like Asian or Oriental. Maybe both Japanese. I'm not sure. Well, batlings, they have like, I don't know. They feel like it to me. Where did I go through the landscape? But the Oni ogres are specifically, I think, a Japanese thing. They're the red ones with the crazy hair. You see them in some things. They usually have like an icon. You see it as like the... There's an emoticon for them too, actually. I think you might know that. Alright, so is this a good spot for them? Up here? Yeah, just... It's free of trees right there. I wonder if I should simulate the jungle one again. Yeah, so that filled it up a bit more because it was using the previous measurements. It'll readjust the trees to match the terrain when you change the terrain, but it won't calculate their placement. So you have to resimulate if you do things and you want it to be adjusted by slope when you change the slope. Minotaurs, they go in the archipelago. Well, they are kind of where they're supposed to be. Put them more like up here. Give me a moment, I'll be right back. Gotta do something. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Yeah. Mountain. Oh yeah, the dark ones. Another one's for the mountains. areas. Oh, this canyon might be kind of sick. I don't know. I mean, they can climb their way out. Let's see. Where did I put the gray elves? Over there. Batlings could be over here. A lot of them in close proximity to each other. But it's just like a little village outpost. There can be like animals in between and monsters in between and stuff. Spawn area. No. So the dark elves. Actually, I was kind of thinking of having the dark elves like in charge of everything. So they were going to be more in proximity to here. Like if we paint some of this as snow, that's like too much, I think. This looks cool as like the purple and green. Like why not? Well, actually that doesn't really make sense, these tall trees on top of this. Yeah, I think I should repaint that to mountainous snowy. That's like their extended. I'm just gonna keep the landscape how it is and just change the painting. I should change some. Oh, that's the mountain itself. I'm probably gonna have to resimulate a bunch of these for that to work. Actually, from this side, it's probably cool to have it not as much. I need one. So it's probably getting enough of it. Go back home. I don't know, I'll have to mess around with that a bit more. It kind of makes sense. It's just a little bit too much of a hard edge here with no reason. Maybe a river can go through there a little bit. A little one. That would kind of make sense. At some point I'll like connect upwards to make like a proper river that goes up the mountain. But for now it can just be like sort of almost like an island. I'll just resynite all of them again. Not the, okay. I could even snake through here, but we'll leave it alone for now. Back to these guys. Oh, apparently I just reconnected again. Hello, welcome to my channel. I wonder if it's the SoundCloud on YouTube thing. Okay, right, so I was going to put maybe the Dark Elves up on that mountain there. Or maybe just up on here. That would make more sense for them. And the Dark Batlings and the Grey Elves. Kind of three of them on this mountain. That kind of makes sense. And then the Ogres more in the distance, and then this whole... Oh. Won't let me do the end thing. Or F. What? Was I just moving then? Oh, okay. This keeps happening where like I move the gizmo and the stuff doesn't go with it. There it is. Nice. Nice. Getting better at that. Such dense woods, but I think we'll manage. Oh my god, last ones for the peoples. And then I'm actually gonna start working on quests. Maybe the animal spawns. Maybe the quests first, then the animal spawns. So the sea elves start out here somewhere. I think at the edge of one of the archipelagos would be cool. They're more like wild. Way out there in the middle finger. Because they're rude. Those wild and crazy sea elves. Oops. The wild and crazy sea elves. I guess it depends which way you look at it. It could be... That's the thumb? That doesn't make sense. It would be the broken thumb. I think it makes more sense. That's the left hand. It's a broken pinky. Okay. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I appreciate the applause. Oh, wait, you were plotting Aphex Twin. Oh, okay. Right. Happens all the time. I do have these spawn areas. It'll take a little while to figure out which goes where and all that stuff. I'll figure it out at some point later. Each race gets like an animal to hunt. A local, maybe two. Some sort of ecology. I'll have to sort it all out though. A lot to sort out. Let's look at the origins. Getting the items. Okay, I have most of them just going past equipment. You don't start with anything. Most of them. Yeah, starting carpenter gear. Starting lumberjack bag. Start a house. I should get rid of that and replace it with the quest. That's why only the lumber. So lumberjack starts with actually knowing how to build everything and the tools for it. I have to change that. This basically is going to change to like whatever you actually start with. This. I don't know why I did that. I guess it was plans for a house. Materials for it or something. Would wooden planks. Yeah, you start with wooden planks. Plans and materials for a house. But no, yeah, okay. That's like being a settler. So what does settler get? Settler should have that. Let's go to the UI for it. Let's do it in-game. Let's look at this. Because it's cooler that way. I can tell you what's going on. And I need to like redo the way it's distributed. Okay. I'll do a batling, because batlings are cool. Let's do a female batling. Alright. So, I would like to do something here that says maybe difficulty, or starting difficulty, or something like that. And then it'll say I think maybe I need to sort this out a little bit more first before I continue. So we'll leave her there. Just keep that for a moment. That's much better already. Shit. Editable multi-line, whatever I was thinking. Okay, one of these is supposed to be editable, the one that's actually your origin. Not the descriptions of them. Alright, so wait, where is it? Wait a second, okay. This is actually the one. Why didn't it give me a warning when I tried to delete it? Alright, where's my find? So that's the one that's supposed to be editable. Wow. I got crazy loud all of a sudden. Maybe not on your end. Let's listen to Miles Davis. No, well, it's not. Let's listen to... Just put this on. There you go. editable is like how I would say it, but you can edit this, something like that, like make it clearer for people. Feel free to edit. Can be changed. Click to rewrite. Click to edit. Okay, and this should not be editable. That's just text. That's editable text. Okay, that's determined by origin. That's just text. That's determined by origin. Determined origin. And there's a spacer at the end. Okay. Okay. There we go. Difficulty. That should be changed by. Okay. That should actually should say determines available origins. Sorry. That would help. Okay. And then this can be changed with the content. Start in. Okay, so actually it needs to be determined by the race. Origins. And then once you've selected it, it should change this. Somewhere else it needs to say like what hometown you start with. So this can be start in city, start in wilds. And does it have like a default start in city? And we need another one of these. Maybe another blue one. And one of these. Just, oh yeah, starting location determined by, it's already in there, by your origin. And what I'm I'm doing that. I think I'm just saying I don't have like a name for each race. Location text. Oh, look at that. These shouldn't be on functions constantly to begin with, but I guess for now, it's funny. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I was doing it here. Hopefully I disconnected that in the first place. Text. Yeah, it's not bound. Okay, so that function I just found is disconnected. That's good. Okay, so yeah, this will just say the wilds of the Feylands. I should have that switched to a function that determines the name of it based on what your race is. So we have like a little name for each. Then you have Highland Crossings and Imna Hill Grotto, and then like a different name for each race thing. Because that's a pure EverQuest old school RPG thing where depending on what race you choose, it tells you the name of the town or village you get to choose from. I love it. So we're gonna need. Let's just make it as a function. Start in wilds, town, village name, location name. Get started in wilds, location name. What is it? Output. Finish. What's the thing that you do to get the outputs? You do it this way. No? They have to be a macro to have them. I just don't remember what they're called. Return node. Sorry. Alright. Outputs. There we go. And I can feed it. Text. Type. By per info. Starter skills. Player info. Start in city or wilds. Okay, so let's just pass that through. Can't just blarg. This is a string. Origin. To be honest, that doesn't matter. Does it? I'll just make it a Boolean. Actually, they're all starting wilds, so I don't really need that. Let's just do the race enumerator. And I need a subrace. this first anyway. Setting the stuff and then coming through and changing UI, so I can just... I know you're on here somewhere. I was at the Freelands, I was at the Feylands, so I need faction. And that can just be checked. So Feylands is checked, Freelands is not. Well, actually, I don't really need faction because they're. Yeah. Fix that. spacers. Starting out, oh yeah, because this will tell you like, oh, you have a house or you're nothing. This will say what town. Okay. Religion text. There we go. Now I've made the connection. So these are the only ones I have so far. I'm gonna take a little 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Hey, cool. What's up? Oh, that was like 6 minutes ago. I don't know if you're still there. But yeah, I'm actually I finished the spawn areas. I touched up the landscape a bit. Check that out. 5 fingers of whatever I call it in a minute, because I'm about to name all the villages. Where was I? So is it finished? Plugged in. I was just looking at this. Oh, to fix it. That's right. I need subrace. I wonder if I unchecked the wrong thing. I should have unchecked faction, not subrace. That's why I got all confuzzled. Okay, so, and then I guess just another select string off each of these. No, I don't need that. I need acceptable, or just human and subrace. I guess that's all it is. Yeah, I don't need any faction switch. It's actually not that hard. Okay, so humans are either plains human or desert human. I'm gonna do some Wikipediaing. Snake River Plain. Desert humans, plains humans. Should make up some words, basically. Just fantasy name it. I already thought of one for the Batlings. So like Jacksmonthie. See if that pulls something up. Is that a type of flower? Oh, Gemonthie. Okay. It's a type of chrysanthemum. No results found for Jacksmonthie. Okay, that's good. Let me plug it all in. And it'll be a little brainstorm process. I don't have to do all of them right now, but I think that's part of the fun. This might have to, yeah, they need to shrink down a little bit. Once this goes in, I guess a little smaller. Oop. It has to. I'll separate the others a little bit. So the other faction. Ah, you are there. Alright. So, you got any cool names you want to contribute to the villages? Oops. Jacksmonthie Village. It's the only one I got so far. Some ogres will be easy. It's gonna sound like ogre. Or crack and village. or Kraken. Seem more like or I know Kraken or Orca or War Village or because I like or 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 Village. Where is it? It's OR. It's OR. Maybe these guys could also start in Jack's Monthly Village? Nah, it's different. Or Hoven. What's a Hoven? Is that like for witches? Afflicted with bloat. What? To lift, heave. Isn't there like a noun for it? Isn't it like a place? 2 of 3. What's the first one? Archaic of heave, bloat, hoven. Which is haven? Hovel? I know haven is a thing. So what's a haven? What is a haven? Harbor, port, place of safety, refuge, or haven. Hovel. Oops. What's a hovel? I want to see what that came up with. Did you mean hobble? Okay. Oh, wait, other suggestions. Hovel. Yeah, see, cottage. Synonyms for hovel, tiny unkept house. That's what I thought. Or hovels, maybe. What's a Craig? No, not Craigslist. Like a crag. What's a crag? Isn't that like windswept crag? Craig. That's why I've heard that. Crags? Cags. Did you mean crags? Windswept crag. Ruins of Magic Wiki. What's a crag? A steep or rugged cliff or rock face. Yeah, there we go. Or crags. Yeah. Maybe these guys will be more civilized. Maybe they'll both be villages in the pinkish area. Kind of shamanistic and stuff. So it can also be a village. Let's look up Onis real quick. This is what I was talking about. They're kind of like this. Origins. No, like physical origins. Ox-tiger direction. Kimon. Based on the time as ox-tiger theories of the Onis, bovine horns, and tiger skin loincloth developed as a visual fiction of this term. Facing the direction, Mount Hai, which is in the northeasterly direction from Kyoto to regard the capital. built towards the direction. That actually makes perfect sense from Edo Castle. However, skeptics doubt this could be the... Well, skeptics... don't have to be specific. I just like the gist of the feel. L-shaped indentations to the northeast to ward against Oni. So this is a ward against Oni, anyway, so it's kind of inverted to use the Oni to ward off the other peoples. Ox, tiger, Kimon. Either one of those would be kind of like a blatant reference. We have ox and tiger. We don't have either of them, so to put those words in here would be kind of like a letdown. I should have tiger in there. That would be nice. So Kimon, Ushitora. What term? Which was in the Kimon direction. I mean, just something like Kimoni Village. People will be like, oh, that's supposed to be a play on kimono. So maybe just Kimon Village. That might be kind of weird. I might be insulting to have it like inverted like that. It's like a traditional and modern times. Lost their original wickedness, taken more of a protective function in the sea. Only Japanese parades dispel bad luck. Include Oni-faced roof tiles, Onigawara. Ward away back luck, much like gargoyles. Child that does not resemble its parents is a child of Oni and may be used by a parent to chastise them as baby. Alright. So then maybe that's not too bad. I just don't know if I like the word itself. Like, aesthetically, it sounds better in the original language. Someone pronounced it correctly. Demon Gate. Village of the Gate, or something like that. The Gate Village. What I've been doing, like with the weapons, is to change it from, it's like flamberge, is like French for flame blade, so I changed it to flame blade. The Demon Gate Village. That sounds kind of like, whoa. Okay. And it's like, who are the demons? Oh, those people from the other side. We're the demons, I don't know. The Demon Gate, maybe? Well, actually, if that's the case, then they should be switched. The Oni and the Batlings. Batlings would be more... Oh, cool. The Demon Gate. That's what it is. So this could just be the Highlands, as opposed to Highland Crossings, even though it's not high. So Highland Crossings should be like the highland in otherwise plains. Doesn't make any sense, the Highlands, you know? It's actually quite low. Highland Crossings. Maybe it's a crossing between the Highlands. No, none of that makes any sense. I live in Highland Park, so I thought it would be cool to reference that. Lowland crossings? Just change everything. Lowland crossings. The lowlands, the flatlands. That's a Chelsea Wolfe song that I really like. Might be a nice reference. I wonder if I have maybe like the dialogue in the NPC says, "Welcome to Highland Crossings." It can be a joke. And we're like, oh, originally we were in the mountains, but we moved and we kept the name. I'm gonna stick with that. I like it. And then the flatlands can just be where it is. Sunny Village? No. Minecraft shows up first. Sonoran Foothills. I wonder where this is. Phoenix, Arizona. Sunny. Saroni. No, that's good. It's about good, I mean. I mean, they're humans. They could just be very English type, plain English, like sun. Flatlands. The Sunlands. Land of the Sun. Village of the Sun. Sand. Sandy Place Village. Mojave Desert. Valley. Death Valley, etc. Far Valley. Maybe. Windswept Valley. Sunny Valley. Welcome to Sunny Vale. Sunny Vales. Sunswept Valley. Yep, that's what it's called. Welcome to Sunswept Valley. Dwarves. Oh, that's a halfling and gnomes, actually. So, hills, foothills. Hobbit Hills. I mean, is Hobbit copyrighted? I don't know. I don't know if I want to use that term even. Halfling Hills. Just keep it simple. I might do that. Because the other one, it's not called Human Village. They might be the only people that just call it their own type. Like, oh, welcome to Halfling Hills. I mean, that kind of makes sense to me. I might just go with that. It's the only one that made me think of doing that. I didn't go Battling Village. No. Halfling Hills. That's what it's called. Welcome to Halfling Hills. And I'll come up with some weird, like, subterranean name for the gnomes, like a Dwergar type thing. Or maybe it should be like Dwergar references. And the Spurf Neblin. But that's like Forgotten Realm stuff. Actually, what I want is the Dark Elves of like Nordic mythology, Norse mythology, yeah. But since I'm using those for the actual Dark Elves, I want to just sort of emphasize these as like, okay, so I have some more words I can use here. I'll show you which ones I've already used. Svartalfar and where's the other one that I've used for the Grey Elves? So that's going to be the names for their places. Light Elf, White Elves, Yosalfar. What was it? I have the Svartalfar and the Grey. Mirror, Svar and Mirror. Where did I get Mirror from? Is that from these guys or something else? So I could keep rolling with this. Merely dwarves, dark elves and black elves from the outset. Doc Alfar. They're all just different words for the same thing, and they're just kind of like have no way of telling. But Doc Alfar means dark elves. It's not really. But then the Svartalfar, that's where I guess Sverfneblin probably came from. 3 kinds of elves. Grim postulated. Light, dark, and black. So then that could just be what these guys are. This has kind of a dwarven name too. I wonder if I can take that, those symbols too. Svar, Dokalfar. That's kind of just like a cool word itself. Dokalfar. Village, mountain, lair, tunnels, crest. I should just start reading Lord of the Rings again and pull out all the weird geography words they use. Let's look up a synonym for crag. Bluff. I think it's a bluff. I don't know if that works for them though. A butte. No, not that kind. Precipice. Ridge. Synonyms for village. Really? That's it? Hamlet? Maybe? Town? Township? They really don't have much here. That's kind of weird. Berg. The Kalfarberg. They're Kalfarberg. Ancient or medieval fortress or walled town. There you go. The Kalfarberg. The Kalfarberg. The Kalfarberg. Love it. Now this is actually the opposite of them. The other side. These are the dark halflings, dark gnomes of the... Well, they're not good or bad, they're just different. So have a little bit of shared history somehow. And it's far away. Maybe these guys left that society and came over here from underground. They dug their way across the ocean and they sprouted up over here a long time ago. I don't know. Or perhaps these are the ancient ones and the other ones went over there and became tall. I don't know. Mess around with it. Since they're gnomes, they're going to live more underground, be like dwarves. And we're going to be like the dwarf society, so that would actually make more sense if they're like the ancient ones. And the elves over there actually were the ones that got exiled and got taller from living above ground. But these are the true original elves. That's why they're called Dakafar. And the real, just dark elves. The other ones became black elves and gray elves. Mirror. I don't know where I got the mirror thing from. It's in there somewhere. So obviously I'm not doing quests, but this is part of the whole fleshing out the world. Living, breathing, all that good stuff. So these would be the high elves and the sun elves. Moon elves and the sun elves? Sun elves and moon elves, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. I think. Moon elf and then sun. Moon elves and sun elves, yeah. And they're together, they're called the high elves. So, moon elves, this is a little easy. Just make up some, like... Aldradrasil? Something. What's the World of Warcraft one? I'll make sure I'm not copywriting it. It's called like Teldrassil or something. Teldrassil. Okay, so I gotta take that part out. Dradrassil. Yeah, all that. Okay, bye-bye. Alderon. This would be a glade. Just make sure I know what a glade is. It's not like a clearing, is it? Open space in a forest. Yeah, okay, it is. So what about, what's a dale? Valley? No, I want the opposite of that. I want like, what's it? Maybe crest? Not the toothpaste. Crest. Hydrology? No, river. Ridge. Maybe like plateau or something. Like not necessarily for geography. Bluff. Ascent. Actually, yeah, that's kind of nice. Upland. Talus. Precipice. What the hell's a talus? Sloping mass of rock fragments at the foot of a cliff. That's a cool word. Yeah. Perfect. It's not quite the top. It's the rocky stuff at the bottom. Moonlit Talus. I don't know if they should have more of a elf-y name here going on for them. Oh, but maybe like go back to the Nordic stuff and source it from... Is it still in here? Losalfa. Yourself, Talus, Kalfarberg. It's cool, and it's sourced from them pretty authentically. The light elves fairer than the sun to look at. Now the sun elves, though, something similar. Burnt heaven and earth, fires of search. I don't want to use too much Nordic stuff. So I don't want it to be directly like, oh, that's what they are. But I want people to kind of get the gist that there's something older than Tolkien going into this. I'm just looking for good words for town names. Maybe I should look up the... Oh, this is both of them. Okay. Alfheimer. Also known as Losalfheim. That could be Alfheim. Only lighthouse that inhabit these other places. South and above this heaven of ours, and we believe Gimli is located in the third heaven, still further above that one. We'll protect Gimli. This is the part I get. When the fires of Surtur burn heaven and earth. Yeah. And down there, so. Vioblain. Here's another one. Vitalfar. Drop the H. Wait, did I keep the J in there? Yeah, I think I feel like I should. I don't know. Things like that are cool, but then I have to like copy and paste them all the time. That's just vital. Like fertile crescent, vital valley, vital crescent. Do they all end in far? Lean. Alfheimer. Solfheim. Vitalheim. Esker. Tor. Tor. Not that kind of Tor. Tor is erosion and weathering of rock. Sandstones and others. Yeah, that sounds about right. Tors. Desert rocks out there. Vital Tors. That's cool. That sounds cool. These guys get villages. This one's easy enough. Xar. Moon Village and they call it Lizard Folk. Is that it? Lizard Folk happy place. I could just name them better. Like the Ixar. Definitely start with KS for these guys. And in the Ixal village. Ixal and Xal, very confusing. Alright. I need some more inspiration. I'll be right back in a minute. What's going on here? Oh, it's just shadow from the sun. Yeah, okay. We're back. Alrighty. I want to look up. This already like makes me want to just play through it again, even if I just follow the tutorial. It's so good. Where? It's just a video. I want like the names. Just want to like see what they went with for their Greek style. There we go. Oh, the Sacred Mountain. Isle of Wonder. No. Oh, the Sacred Mountain. Yeah, that's what it is. Sacred Mountain. It's just a walkthrough. Not the puzzle. Can't just be the only thing they called it the fucking Sacred Mountain. Lord Azure and Lady Ariel. The Logic Cliffs and the Sacred Mountain. Lady Celeste. How about Azure then? Can't copyright Azure. That's a color, right? Maybe this of the sky. What the, not Microsoft Azure. What even is that? Bright blue, like the color in the sky. Okay. Azure something. For sure. Azure cliffs. Let's look up another thesaurus for cliffs. Bluff. Precipice. Promontory. Point of high land that juts out into a large body of water, a headland. Yeah. That's what I want. Let me see if it is that. Over here? Yeah. But you actually start down in the water. Where to put it? Where did it go? I wonder if I like lost it. Oh, there it is, there it is. Alright. I did kind of... What happened there? Location minus 110. No, that's correct. going on there. Some weird stuff going on right here. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, it could be because it's interfering with the coastal layer. I'm on the wrong layer too, Jesus. Let's go back a bit. I did do a bunch of them. Alright, ocean edge. I want to race a little bit less than that. Hey, not like that. There we go. Okay. This should work right here. There we go. That's what I wanted. Those new layers, you gotta be careful with all that. Cool. Slightly realistic here. I like this flatten tool a lot. I wonder if I can actually make it go up. be it for now. It's very steep. I can go around it, maybe. Even though you can just climb straight up, it'd be nice if we can make it like entirely walkable. Yeah, not bad, huh? Where was it from down here? It was a lot more distinct. Top. How did I even get there? From where? From here? Wait, what? Okay. Alright. Oops. No, that's not what I want the per value. Per apply. Bigger maybe. strong, that's why. It's pretty cool. Long mountain. Better be a lot of quests on the way. So now I can call it promontory. That's why I did that. Asia promontory. The Asia promontory. This is the last sun-related one. This would be that's the air elves, so this is the sky elves. Yup, the official companies. What do you mean, yup? Sky elves. So here's the air elves. Here's the sky elves. Right, oh, they're up here. That's a bluff. Oh, that is a bluff. Windswept bluffs. Sunswept valley, sunswept bluffs, maybe. I like that name. It gives you a sense of like, oh, I'm in a consistent world. Alright. Now they need to go back to the air. That's far, tall, far. This just should be called something. Svartalberg. They could have a mountain name type thing again, or something like another name for a village or town or something that might be cool for them. Call me the official. I'm gonna come in here when I can. Yeah, I remember your name. I'm trying to get a PC. I learned Unity on your old laptop, but it's useless now. Does Unreal not work on your computer? It's a nice picture. I don't know, maybe I should use something from the... Nah, never mind. There's a book I have. It's more about general ancient magic stuff. What did we have from this suburb hamlet? District, so let's go Berg. Let's go deeper from Berg. Travis municipality. Ward. Canton. Small territorial division of a country, such as one of the states of the Swiss Confederation. Canton. That sounds like a cool word for them. Svartar Canton. Barely runs Unreal Engine. Yeah. You know, I mean, yeah, they have like a low settings and all that stuff. You can work with it basically in like next to polygon mode. If you go to, so if it'll run at least, you can go to, there's some additional editor settings. Settings here. If you go to this settings thing, and you have engine scalability settings, if you change this, it'll change the way everything looks and recompile the shaders and everything. And so then you can run the engine as if it's like, you know, low quality PC. You know, I don't know if you've tried that, but see if that helps. That sounds cool. And then the grails, I'll go back to the mirror. Alright, so wait, where did that come from? Where did that mirror $cave elf? I think there was something like, it's not myrrh, but I took it from part of a word for something. Just need to like find, not as a whole word. There was I mean, this is just this computer. I was researching this stuff for a while. A lot. Merkalfar? Murky elf. Svartalfar. Merkalfar. Merkalf. Northgard. Wait, what? Also called Merkalfar. Dark elves. Dusky elves. That's right. Dusk elves. That's what that is. Dusk elves. Alright, well I had it just a minute ago. Northgard. Didn't even know that you have to get the learning curve to Unreal. So you never gave up. I started like 2015 or 16. Would have been started on 14. I would have started when I was 14 years old. I was using a hammer editor and I had the scaling all wrong. I made like a castle and I was just like, meh, I was 14. But, you know, I did other stuff and, you know, just keep at it. So where the heck is Northgard? I know, this must have just been from the YouTube things. Opens Volk, Merkalfar. It does mention these, but it's a Murky Elf. Dark Elves, Norse, Murky Elf. There you go. Also called Merkalfar. Dark Elves, Dusky Elves, Murky Elves. Alright. Svartalfheim. So they have to be based on mirror. Just glad I found that. Took me a while. Like an overlook of some sort. I wonder if overlook is too much of a certain word. Down the thesaurus What's the word I want? Rabbit hole. Butte. Merbut. Sierra is actually a word for a mountain. I only know it as the gaming company. Esker. We could also be called a canton. Merfar Canton. Oh, this source website's like crashing my computer. And this is also a promontory, kind of. Alright, one more time on thesaurus. Promontory. Jetty, Cape Foreland, Point. Charonese. Jetty, Ridge. I think I might stick with that. Mir and Svar. Svar Canton and Mir Canton. And that's actually named off the race now. It's just like the halflings. So I don't know if I want to do the halfling hills. Svar Canton. But this is like saying, okay, this is the parcel of land that we've assigned to the Svars. This is it's like kind of it's like militant. You were 13 when you wanted to start watching a million tutorials on Unity and coding, but now you haven't used it in 3 years. No biggie. Were you doing actual code like C++ and stuff? I guess you have to for Unity, right? Tyrians. That would be Minotaur and then Satyr, or Satyr and then Minotaur, I believe. I think I can hit lunch and do some stuff. I've been on. When did I start? 10:30? Almost 3 hours straight. Yeah, I gotta chill. I got a couple more town names to start here, and basically just have to give each origin type a. This literally means I'm like on the verge of doing quests. As far as I can tell, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing quests by writing this. I'm writing the material. But basically I have to give like a little letter to each character if they start in town, saying, oh, you're supposed to go seek this person for your instruction. Because each person starts in town and gets like an instructor NPC. And maybe it'll be a little bit different with the letter. Maybe not a letter if I come up with some other methods. But I think letter makes the most sense for everybody that starts in this town or city. But if you start in the wilds, here you just get your equipment and stuff, so I don't really have to do too much there. You just start out there, you have your stuff. And I'll, not this round, but soon, I'll like decorate each area with some like cultural stuff and NPCs that will buy and sell stuff and have little daily lives and stuff, but not too many of them for performance. But, yeah. Where am I going to go with this project? Oh, well first of all, you should definitely join the Discord, because I talk about it a good bit there. When I'm not streaming, I'm like on the Discord all the time. But I want to show, just to answer your question, I'll read some of the stuff that Dark Lord was asking me about. I'll spend a few minutes doing this real quick, because I thought this was really good conversation. Got me going. Ideas I already had, but I had to like explain them, and so he got me to say them. So let me copy that for you since you're on Twitch. That was a YouTube message. Here, that should go to you on Twitch as well, so you can copy paste it. So each NPC has a list of. Oh wait, no. Okay, so eventually the quests will inform each origin choice how to do their thing. So you've got a quest and you pick your origin and the quest tells you like how to do your, based on your origin choice, your lumberjack or carpenter or stonemason or warrior or herbalist, whatever. And doing that thing will inform the world, particularly the warrior background. You can join the barracks and be given an assignment to fight the other faction. So you're doing starting quests for each race origin? Yeah, sort of. There's 2 origins for each type, like carpenter, lumberjack. The type would be like woodcrafters or whatever. One starts in the town with a quest, carpenter. The other starts in the wild with gear and no quests, make your own adventure kind of thing. So if you're an elf carpenter, you start in town with the same quest a human carpenter would have. But if you're an elf lumberjack, you start in the elf wildlands, while a human lumberjack would start in the human wildlands. You see, so hopefully I explained that well. I'm planning on making it so you can pay to log out in an inn, like in gold pieces, not like for money, just in character gold. To log out at an inn, and your character disappears from the world while offline, so you can't be killed, but also can't AFK gather or anything. Like your character can actually like be saved. But if you start in a town, you get a free room at your trainer, like your blacksmith or whichever origin you chose, like the church, carpenter, etc. And so you can just stay in that room like for free. It's like a noob-friendly thing. So you log out and your character goes offline, disappears, so no one can kill you or steal from you and stuff because you're in town, you're protected. But if you start in the wilds, you don't start with a home. You have to learn skills on your own to build one or be part of a group that can protect you. And it's more like a survival game where you have to, and you can just go back to town and pay a gold to stay at an inn if you want to, in that case. There's not really any benefit to doing it that way other than being hardcore, and I might make it so you can just create a safety space that you can log out in or something like that. We'll have to see. But it's sort of like hardcore mode. It's like difficulty, really. It's like choose your difficulty. You want to be able to... It's like, what's the benefit? Oh, it's just harder. There's no benefit. Like, pride is your benefit. So he says, I'll choose the wild. Sounds interesting. Yeah, you have to balance what you spend versus what you make. You can gather goods with your skill and bring them to your race's village to barter for gold and raise other skills. Townfolk have added protection of the guards, more like Care Bear PvE style. But wild is more dangerous. Not sure they need any additional benefit or just being badass is enough. You get to have that title that proves you started in the wild. Is a reward for risking in wild more than city? That's what I was just saying. That's what I mean with my last sentence. There isn't really... You start with some gold and equipment, so you don't have to do the noob quest first. It's like the experienced player start, and town is the noob-friendly start. Sounds convincing. Nice. So you can always go to town as a wilds player and rent a room or start some quests there if you want. I plan on disconnect... Neighbor's car is always going crazy. Let me just hop outside for a second, make sure it's not my car. I'll be right back in a second. Yep, just that neighbor's car is always going off. So, I plan on disconnecting the quests from each other, so you don't have to do all the level 1 noob quests in order to go do the world-shaping quests, like travel and other areas and stuff. Like, each noob quest for each origin type will be its own self-contained quest chain. But anyone can also get easy quests from Town Hall, and you can also go pick up one of these noob quests anytime you want if you've never had them before. So anybody can go start all of the noob quests and get all of the basic skills if they want. But you can also get easy quests from Town Hall to deliver messages to NPCs. It's sort of a trope from the text-based mods back in the day for gold and low XP, or you can pick up quests to start political intrigue or world PvP quests. So it's not linear. A little more like Skyrim, how each quest is its own linear thing. What about PvP in the alpha? So it works, and for the alpha we can teleport around, but I might want to add a couple boats that go back and forth between the islands so we can actually, engage and properly see how it works that way. So we can feel out exactly how that might work. I also intend on making pilotable boats, nothing as complex as Atlas or Sea of Thieves or anything like that, but forward, left, right, reverse, gamey boat driving, just so you can choose your own area to dock at and avoid the waiting ambush. Is it instance and can be turned off? No. What do you mean? I mean, will it be allowed in specific locations? Sort of. It's on all the time, but to avoid it, you can stay in or around the town, city with guards, like Ultima Online. Considering things like hireable guards, so you can be protected when you travel. Or maybe you can turn on a guard mode activated for an offline character that will protect a certain area, something like that. But you're still vulnerable. The guards are just there to enact revenge if someone steals or attacks you. Ultima Online. And I plan on making friendly fire, if you will, for stealing in PvP, so you can go against your faction and join a third faction, if you will, if you get caught, you know, the unaligned bandits and brigands. So you have to watch out for thieves in town, just like Ultima Online. He says he hated Legends of RA because I made it like there's no risk except for the criminal areas, really? So all of the feedback about Fallout 76's PvP flag on-off system was all I needed to hear to know that it's bad. It doesn't feel good to either the PvPers or the PvEers. It's like anti-compromise. And yeah, instance PvP is kind of annoying too. Nobody really goes to the PvP only area unless it's Guild War II's World War's World. And to me that's always just felt like a Zerg fest. This is how the game is more similar to Team Fortress or Unreal Tournament, facing worlds 2 fort. And the PvP is constant, and it basically is the point of the game, but you can play as like an engineer type that spends more time on defense, hanging out in base, gathering resources, etc. Do you see this? How these genres merge there? Like, So I was thinking wood can be cheap to build, but can be destroyed, while stone will take a lot of stone to make, but it's permanent. So a bit of both worlds. If you want to build a forward base, you'll likely use wood. Stone is too heavy to transport, and then the forward base can be destroyed because it's wood. But your home base, you make it out of stone near a quarry, or taking your sweet time dragging it with the cart. The whole reason people built castles in medieval times was because it was impenetrable. You suddenly control a whole territory because your knights have a safe place to return to rest and heal after their tours around the region. So, like, you can't just destroy the stone walls. Something I really want to incentivize, though, making players want to build a base that can be penetrated, like dungeon keeper style. Like, some reason you would want a group of adventurers to try to get into your base and die to your traps or monsters, or they get in and steal all your loot. But some way to, like, enforce it and make it gamey and not just, like, death traps. Like, some, like, actual risk to it. But not like you lose all your shit. Something that's, like, a little bit controlled and like, you know, you become a dungeon master yourself, you know? Each player is their own dungeon master of their dungeon, right? And then, like, yeah, let's see. Maybe I'll make prefab dungeons or pieces that connect to each other for the dungeon sets that aren't like the wood. Maybe the stone stuff will all have to be interlocking, so you can't do like cheap, you know, layering doors on top of doors and stuff like that. But we'll see. So some way to enforce it, like making dungeon diving each other's bases, like raiding, but not to hurt the other player and destroy their base, some sort of mutually rewarding raiding. He says, like Fortnite? I'm like, sort of like the wood parts. It's good for camping for the raid. Like when you prepare for raiding another player's base, you need a quick territory that won't require a lot of resources. So I also want to add manual soul binding. Another idea kind of merged from some of the old school MUDs. You would gather favors by donating gold to the church, and then when you die, you lose favor in order to respawn, so you donate more gold to get more favors for each respawn. Like, that was the old simple system. I'm thinking more like if you want to keep any specific items when you're dying, so this is actually more incorporating like World of Warcraft idea of soul binding. So if you want to have it soul bound, but really in this sense it means that you don't drop it when you die. So think all loot, or what do you call it, full loot PvP, except for what you paid to have soulbind by donating to the church. But then when you die, you have to pay again. So you go to you can gear up, go to the church. It'll be like 146 gold to soulbind all currently equipped gear, or like, you know, each one can be specifically selected. And then when you die, your stuff can't be stolen unless it's something new you picked up while out, so like you haven't had a chance to soulbind it, or it's something you didn't care enough about to soulbind. So then you have a gameplay loop of making gold in order to pay for the soulbinding your gear each time you die. So then the long-term quests will be stuff like saintlyhood or lichdom, stuff that will allow you to become immortal and have free respawns for being an epic endgame player. You know, each kind of like class archetype has its own like superpowered type that, you know, can survive no matter what for whatever reasons, you know, or like keeps respawning, you know, some like, but not something that everybody can do from the start. I was also thinking maybe Dark Souls like XP drop when you die, but only what you haven't spent yet. So like whenever you visit the church too, for whatever reason, or is your church. And I'm gonna have agnostic and atheist religions too that have their own mechanics that are different from these. Like mess with the respawn. Each religion changes your respawn mechanics. Like some of them might be like, oh, no death penalty to XP, but you can't soulbind anything. You know, like stuff like that. You know, different ways of changing your own thing, like respawn where you died, or respawn back in town, you know, with or without your gear, like different ways of, you know, all the different respawn types through all the different MMOs throughout time. And you know, like they always picked one for everybody and respawn the same way. And I'm saying like, no, you pick your way. But this is one idea, so that whatever you haven't spent yet, and whoever kills you gets it, or if you died in the PvE area, you can hope to get it back from maybe whatever. I was also thinking like if you die to a bandit, maybe they can actually like hold you ransom. Your character is an NPC, and you're unable to escape. You have to go make another character to go let your own character out, or like go to town and with another character and convince people to go help you, or the server owner, or friends to come join your server. Isn't this too much of a penalty? I think the one too you mentioned. Well, you keep any gear you sold on, you keep any XP you've already spent, and you can get the XP back if it's not PvP. Only whatever XP you've gained since leaving town. It's like your current leveling process. It's not like your whole leveling process, just whatever you were at last when you saved, like at the church. So let's say you were level 32. I think that doesn't matter. Let's say you have 500 extra XP, just like floating around. Like you've leveled up to level 32, and then you also have gained 500 XP, and you have 10 gold. You go to the church and you spend 10 gold to soulbind your sword, but nothing else. You go out and fight some monsters, get some pelts and 100 XP, then get into PvP and die. So you respawn with that soulbound sword and that 500 XP you had before you talked to the church people before you went out. So you lose that 100 XP that you got while you were out. Okay, hold on. Alright, it's fine. So this is good and balanced, I believe. I want to start implementing this stuff, but see, that's like the real gameplay loop stuff. Like it's basically concentrated into that description, that conversation there. We talk about a lot of stuff here, so if you're not in there, definitely come chat. It's fun. Check out these screenshots that Kate took of like ironic celebrating in like the murky darkness, shadows. All right, that's it for now. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, and we'll continue with this. I might keep working on this later today. So it's a Feylands day, but 3 hours is pretty good, I think. I gotta go eat. I'll see you later. Peace.